leader of the Kowakian Monkey-Lizard Army, back on Star Wars Battlefront 2, and trying to improve my career. But it was about time I paid more attention to the milestones. So, if we have a look at my career, I'm going to concentrate on these trooper milestones. And I need 2 enemies with the sharpshooter, which is on assault. And then I need these milestones using the DL-18 officer, and then the sharpshooter, the cycle rifle for the specialist. So that's what I'm going to concentrate on. I've already loaded those weapons, so they're loaded. And we'll see. So I'm going to start with just getting 2 kills for the officer. Sorry, for the assault. And then I need to move on to the specialist or the officer, and I'll work on those milestones. Here we go. Oh, Luke, how's it going, my friend? How's it going? Luke, I'm so sorry. Yesterday, I totally got carried away. Totally forgot that you were on at 3 o'clock. Because, who was it? Sleeping suddenly decided to join just as I was about to leave. And I thought, we'll only play for a bit, 15 minutes with him. And we started gassing, and then Super Awesome John joined. So I'm really sorry, my friend. I ended up totally going over your stream, which I know is not the done thing. So I want to apologise, my friend. I'm very sorry. I'm sure it didn't affect your stream too much, but we got gassing, and then that was it. We were gone, and I don't normally play that long. I was knackered afterwards, to be honest. I can't really do more than 3 hours, so but I'm sorry. I just wanted to say that. I'm sorry, my friend. Did not mean to do that. So what happens when you start gassing? But I will be switching on 100% to the Escaping Reality show tonight. So you'll have the monkey lizards will all be in attendance to support your show tonight, dude. Looking forward to it. Then you got Brandon on, always supporting Brandon as well. He's just hit his 1,000 subs, so he's very buoyant at the moment, which is good. I'm working on milestones today. Never paid much attention to them. I need 2 kills as an assault, and then I need to work on. I can't really see anyone at the moment. We're retreating already.
Has been sighted.
Yeah, well, especially John. Me and John. When I started talking to John, that's it. We're like a couple of old grannies, I think. It's like grannies at the bus stop.
Our defenses must shift to properly face the rebel attackers. New position.
I'd love to come on your show. Absolutely love to come on your show. And we were thinking about doing like a podcaster special one day, where we get where maybe we get some you know, like yourself and Luke Hoff and now the boys at the Old Republic podcast that we made friends with. So yeah, we'll 100% repay that. So yeah, absolutely love to come on. Anytime, my friend, anytime. Of course, you know what you're getting, don't you? You're getting little Salacious. I mean, Bob will be there to supervise, but you know, little Salacious is little Salacious, so he'll be on good behaviour. But I'm just pre-warning, he's a monkey lizard. He can go off on tangents from time to time. Bless him. Lando Calrissian, so good on this game. So I had a new game shirt this morning that I bought on eBay. The Ultimate Wolf convinced me to buy. It's called Werewolf the Apocalypse Earthblood. He's convinced me it's a brilliant game. I'm gonna love it. Never heard of it. It looks mental. So that's what I'm gonna have to load up at some point. I'm starting Guardians of the Galaxy on Monday. I'm quite excited about that one.
Fight to the last trooper.
Still haven't got my 2 kills on this. There we go. Got my 2 kills. So I'm gonna switch to officer or specialist next. Yeah, there's just so many games, aren't there? I mean, everyone starts talking about switching to the next generation. Well, I haven't played half the games on this generation yet. It's not like the graphics on this generation are bad, are they? I mean, they're brilliant. I will get a PS5 eventually, but still so many games to play on this one. People keep telling me to get Horizon Zero Dawn. I've not played that one yet. Oh, I didn't switch my guy. It's got such a pea brain sometimes. I forget some of the most basic things sometimes. I forget what I'm doing. You'll know what I mean by this, but it's all those club nights in the 90s and noughties that sometimes I forget the most simplest things. I forget what I'm doing. I forget I'm tying my shoelace, and you know I can remember very complex strategies and stuff sometimes. Like bits of my brain aren't connected all the time, probably. And I don't have any control over it.
Our defenses have broken and the rebels have carried the day. Ours is the painful shame of defeat.
Well, that didn't last very long. At least I can switch my guy over. I'm done with assault now. I think I've got all the milestones for assault, I think. Hey, G-Force. Nothing like waking up and hopping right into Monkey-Lizards playing Battlefront. Do you know, I know, I mean, what's wrong with me, G-Unit? What's wrong with me? It's 12:30 here, to be fair, so I've had a long lie-in. Although, you know, I did, on Sundays, you know, I don't know if you do the same, I wake up, look at the time, go back to sleep, wake up again. I probably cycled through that 3 times before I finally got up. And, you know, I've got nothing to do today, so I've got lots of action figures that came yesterday, G-Unit, which is quite cool. So I've got a stack of boxes and a stack of action figures that I do need to do some videos for. But that can wait. I'll do that later. So, yeah, I've decided to try and concentrate on some of these milestones on Battlefront. I've got 70% of the trophies, but I think, the milestones give you the big skill points, so and I need them because I'm not very good at this game. Cracked on the Sticks, hello sir. Cracked on the Sticks, are we connected some other way? It's great that you've joined my gaming streams. I really appreciate it. I appreciate everyone that joins, but I don't think I follow you anywhere else. I might be wrong about that. So hit me up on Twitter or Instagram if you're on one of those. I'm at SalaciousRum. Quite easy to find. So it'd be good to connect in another way, so that when you do pop up in my stream, you know, we've been able to chat outside. If you want to, you don't have to. But thanks for joining, man. I really appreciate it. G4 says I love it. The more SalaciousRum, the better. Oh, I appreciate that, G-Unit. The same applies, man. You guys, I love how there are certain communities on the internet, on YouTube in particular. There are pockets of communities out there, and we've overlapped. So you've got like the sleeping force crew with you and with G4, with you G-Force, and and Cudbane and all the sleep. All your crew have sort of collided with our crew, and now we're all good friends together. So it's awesome how that works out. Our overall community is getting expanding all the time, which is so cool. And there's always something. There's always, whenever I go on YouTube now, there's always someone in our community to watch or engage with, which is awesome. The only downside for me is because we're over the pond. A lot of the American content is on very late at night and or early in the early hours, so I don't get to engage with as much with our American friends on their streams. So that's the only slight downside. Like, I rarely get to spend much time on the fireside chats because they happen at 2 in the morning. I'm getting old. I'm in bed sometimes, so. But never mind. There's plenty of other opportunities. Did I change my player? I don't think I did I? No, I picked the wrong guy again. Supposed to be picking. I picked heavy. I was supposed to be picking specialist.
Will allow us to regroup and meet the rebels.
Anyone says, yeah, that's what I struggle with too. I always go to sleep too early. Well, yeah, I mean, I'm a bad sleeper, so sometimes I wake up in the middle of the night and I turn my app on my phone, and there's like Cudbane is on or Sleeping's on, and then I pop in and have a bit of a chat, and then I often fall asleep with my phone still streaming someone.
New positions marked. We need to hold the objective.
But yeah, I was saying to Sleeping yesterday, I can't wait until all the restrictions have ended. I'm going on an American tour next summer. Next summer, I'm gonna spend the summer in America. I'm gonna fly over, get a car, take little Salacious, and try and do some American cons or and try and meet up with some of my US and Canadian friends. Cracked says, I played Battlefront 5 and streamed it for a bit. It's pretty good. I have got that game, I think. I have got that, but I've never played it. G4 says, birds of a feather. Oh, awesome. I think it's awesome how many people I've met out here. Yeah, totally. I love that quote. Anyone says, I'd love to go to the US, the big events. Yeah, definitely. Oh, I didn't choose my guy again. Can you choose midway through? I don't think you can. When Bob falls asleep, Salacious gets active. He does sometimes, yeah. He does. I'm Pilly. He's stealing my phone. Always buying stuff online as well I don't know about. Buying toys or video games. Or pizza. Mostly pizza. Damn monkey lizards. I need a sniper about now. Right, let's get the big gun out. Let's get the big gun out. Didn't mean to put the big gun on, I wanted to be the specialist.
The rebels have a Wookiee now.
Right, remember to pick specialist.
The rebels have shown surprising strength.
This is a good level for a sniper, I think.
Prepare to receive new orders.
Right, here we go. This is the one I need. But yeah, an American trip sounds good to me. A North American trip. Go on, back over here.
New defense positions marked. Dig in.
Whereabouts in the States? What state are you in, G-Force? If you're still here, what state are you from? Let's come over here and see if I can pick some people off. Oh wow, I need to get some cover. I think I need to get some cover. This is just co-op, which is probably the easiest game mode, to be honest, cracked. And I am not the best player, so you'll forgive my lack of skill sometimes. And are you in North Carolina? Of course you are as well, yeah. Because Shabby's in North Carolina as well, isn't he? Oh, that was a good shot. This is what I need to do. I need to get my skill points up on the specialist. Yeah, I was on co-op yesterday. Was doing okay. Went on multiplayer and died every 2 seconds. I'm worse. And imagine what I'm like. You're better than me. I mean. Try and get Bosk. Yeah, Shabby lives about 20 minutes. That's awesome. Oh, you guys will have to meet up one day. That'll be so funny.
Defend the objective. An agent of the Empire has landed to assist.
Are there many UK events for us? Yeah, there are a few. There are a few. So obviously we've got Echo Base in August. Although, to be honest, Anyworlds, Echo, I mean, it's going to be good. Don't get me wrong, but it is more of like a shopping. It's more of like it's a city centre shopping centre. And they basically, they put some they take over one floor, and it's all stalls selling Star Wars gear. And then there'll be one or two stalls of autographs, but I'd say it's kind of like it's like a con light, I'd say. There's obviously Comic-Con in London. I don't know, that's probably not going to be on until later on in the year. And there are some regional Comic-Cons. And then a lot of the toy collecting community will be at the NEC. For the NEC Toy Fair. And there's normally one late October. There's one normally day after Boxing Day.
But you must hold on for a little longer.
But not very regularly. I think we just make stuff that we like, really. We don't take it massively seriously. We just try to have a bit of fun with it, really.
Maintain the area. Reinforcements arrive.
Not having much success with this sniper rifle. That's better. Try and get. That's better. Need to take my time, right?
Defend the objective.
Where are they all? Get a bit of cover. Oh, we lost. Oh, we won.
The rebel gambit to take Endor has failed, and they now pose less of a threat than the
Yeah, Luke, it really will be good to meet up with people because, God, how long has it been now? When did we first go into lockdown? At least we've, at least there's a crew of people that have got some common interests, and you know, it all focuses around our nerdiness, really, doesn't it? We're all sort of, we all love our TV shows and movies and pop culture and video games and board games and toys, and there's a really good mix of interests. Of course, it's Mother's Day in the States today. Yeah, we already had ours. Ours was back in March, so yes, happy Mother's Day to all the American mothers. Gotta look after your mum. A massively important relationship. What can I equip there? Why is it asking me to... Ooh, I can upgrade something. Hey, Niels. How are you, sir? Good afternoon to you, or... I hope you're well.
We have located the rebel base on Yavin 4.
It's early afternoon here.
This is our chance to avenge our fallen. Do not
I'm
disappoint.
concentrating on some of my milestones, and I'm not very good with this sniper, but I'm getting better. But I need to up my
When you
kill
capture the
number
command post, the attack
with the
can
sniper.
continue.
This might not be the best level to do it, but I'm going to give it a go. How you doing, Niels? Oh, I didn't get the kill then. I thought I did. There we go. That's why I'm doing this, to sort of level up my specialist. Very good. And today's Mother's Day. It's in England. We had our Mother's Day back in March, so it's not Mother's Day for us. But I do wish all of our American friends, all our American mothers, a very happy Mother's Day. Yeah, I want to unlock everything for sniper now. I've done that for heavy and assault. I just need to do officer and sniper now. G4 says all my family's back in New York, so it's FaceTime from Mum today. Oh, that's nice. Ooh, it's already gone. What an amazing city New York is. I went to New York back in 2000 and I went backpacking around the world for a year. Took a year off going backpacking and I spent 3 weeks in New York. I stayed in the YMCA hostel on, I think it was 3rd Avenue. And I stayed there for 3 weeks. They couldn't get rid of me. It was brilliant. Saw all the sights. Fantastic city. The only sad bit was I went up the World Trade Center. This was in 2000. This was in August 2000. And I went up the World Trade Center, went up to the very top, got loads of photographs of the view of New York from the World Trade Center. And then a year later, a year and a month later, I was sat in my student dorm watching TV as the attack happened, and I just could not believe it. It was literally a year and a month after I was there, and I just couldn't believe. I couldn't believe what I was watching. That's one of those moments in history that you remember where you were, and you're like, oh my, how is this happening? This doesn't feel real. It didn't feel real watching that camera footage and then trying to perceive the reality of what it was like on the ground for all those people. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Sorry to start talking about this, but it was just an unbelievable moment that I just couldn't believe it. But New York, I mean, what a brilliant city, you know. That city doesn't stop, you know. It's a bit like London, you know, the people just are unbelievable. They get through anything. You get through something like that, you can get through anything, you know. But yeah, I absolutely love New York. I'd love to go back one day. I'd love to go back to the toy fair, you know, the big toy fair they have. That would be awesome. Oh, what am I doing? Too high. Yeah, incredible city. Times Square. There's nothing more electric than being at Times Square at night. Just unbelievable. You just feel like when you're in Times Square at night and everything's all lit up, you do feel like you're in the center of the world, you know. Just, you feel like everything is going on there. Oh, come on. God's sake. Why is my controller punching people when I'm shooting? Like Sinatra said, if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. It's just an incredible place. It's, I remember I went to Hong Kong, and, oh wow, ATST just landing there. I think Hong Kong was the first city I went to, the first skyrise city I went to. Because over here in the UK, we don't really have skyrise buildings. London's got some skyscrapers now, but Leeds has got a couple. But we don't really have skyscrapers like you have in America or in Asia. I remember going to Hong Kong, and obviously Hong Kong is an island, and then there's Kowloon on the mainland, and then you ferry across from Kowloon to the island. And all the skyscrapers are on the island. And I remember getting the ferry over to the island and walking around the island in Hong Kong. And you're constantly looking up all the time because the buildings are so tall. So you're walking at ground level, but you're constantly looking up. And the first few days, for someone that's never done that, and especially after you've got the ferry to get from Kowloon over, you start to get a bit dizzy and a little bit, you feel a little bit sick. And you get the same feeling when you're in New York as well. When you're walking around New York, you're constantly looking up. And you get a little bit of motion sickness if you've never experienced that before. It'd be quite overwhelming, really. New York, Hong Kong's is even worse because you have to get a ferry from the. I was staying in Kowloon, so you get a ferry every day over to the island, and so you get off the ferry, and it's quite rough, the harbour. It does, yeah. It messes with your equilibrium. That's a good way of putting it. But yeah, the skyscrapers are just incredible, aren't they? You've got a lot of them in American cities. We don't really have them over here. So they're a bit of a novelty for us. And obviously in Asia now, they're in every city and in the Middle East. But for a time there, you know, it was only really North America where you saw them. Did I get him? Whoa. Why am I punching people? I had to travel to the World Centre for work a few times. I mean, those structures, G-Unit, were absolutely massive, weren't they? That's the... I think for those people... place. I've only been there once, and it was 20 years ago. But I was 19, and I was doing a bit of a round-the-world trip. I stayed there for 3 weeks. It was one of the best experiences I've ever had. But it was a year and a month before the Trade Center disaster, and I went up to the top of those towers, and we were just talking about how insane that whole situation was. I couldn't believe it when I was watching it. I was like, this is not... for a second I had to check myself. I was like, come on. This is not happening. How are you doing, Rosaf, anyway? Sorry to start off on a downer. We'll change the topic, but I don't know how I got onto New York. Yeah, we're talking about skyscrapers as well. Have you ever been to a city that's got lots of skyscrapers and you've never been to one before? You're constantly looking up all the time, and it kind of, as G-Force put it, it messes with your equilibrium a little bit. I certainly felt that the first time I went to Hong Kong.
The rebels are attacking this battle station directly. Pathetic. Let them break themselves on our defenses.
This is probably not a good level for a sniper. I need to, well, in the hangar bay maybe. The hangar bay, but not in the corridors.
These positions must be
so I need to get a good position here. Here we go. This is a good position, I think. They don't move around or everywhere. Oh, how did I get shot there? Never been to New York, though I've been with the girls for her 40th birthday treat. Wow, that's an awesome 40th treat. I'm good, thanks, I'm glad it stopped raining. Yeah, it's quite sunny here. It's quite nice. I probably should get off the PlayStation and go out and enjoy some of the sun, but yeah, thankfully it's not raining here either. GeForce, you sound well travelled. What was your favourite place you've been to? So, yeah, I've done quite a few trips. Honest to God, my favourite place is one of the most remote. I spent 4 weeks island hopping in Fiji. This is a bit of a random. I've got a few random. I've got quite a few traveller's tales, so you'll have to forgive me. But
we shall prove them wrong.
Fiji is one of the most incredible places I've ever been. Where am I falling back to? Fall back. Where am I falling back to? So Fiji is obviously South Pacific. It's off the north east coast of New Zealand. Quite a way off the northeast coast of New Zealand, but that's the general vicinity. Apologies if you probably already know that. It's obviously part of the Polynesian Islands. Fiji's quite an interesting place. It's got sort of two larger islands, and then it's got a couple of archipelagos of loads and loads of little tiny islands, and they are just beautiful, just absolutely spotless. And so yeah, so I spent 4 weeks basically getting locals to canoe me from one little island to the other. I stayed on a resort island for a bit, you know, and then spent a lot of time on very, very small, very remote islands, and just a beautiful place. A place where you can actually see more stars in the sky than you've ever seen before. You know, there's no light pollution, so it's there's no light pollution, so the sky at night is just incredible. And some of the islands you stay on don't even have electricity. You know, you have like an oil lamp, and you know, like a pit fire that the locals cook in, and just incredible crystal clear water. Amazing marine life. If you're snorkeling there is just something else. And amazing food. So, bit of a history lesson of those interested in Fiji. It was a British colony, and basically in the larger islands they had sugar plantations, sugar cane or sugar plantations, and at some point in the early 20th century, the British took a lot of a large Indian population from India over to Fiji. The same thing happened in South Africa, so there was a lot of Indian people moving from India to South Africa, but also to Fiji. And so in Fiji now, I mean, it's only a small population, but half of the population are indigenous Fijians. You know, so they're very Polynesian looking, beautiful people, and then the other half of the population are Indian. And actually the two groups haven't mixed particularly well. So if you look at Fijian politics, most of the parliament or a lot of the parliament are Indian, and it's led to a couple of civil wars. So there's been two civil wars, one in the 80s and it was literally a civil war between the local Fijians and the Indian population. The local Fijians were fed up that the Indian population was sort of dominating commerce, dominating politics, and the Fijian population, you know, the indigenous population, were poorer per person per capita, and so yeah, there was a civil war in the 80s. And guess when the other civil war took place? Here's my story now. Get to my story. Guess when the second civil war took place? Yep, you guessed it. Two days after I landed in Fiji. So I land in Fiji. I'm on the main island, and then there's a military coup. Literally, I'm on the main island, and there's a military coup. So a convoy of indigenous Fijians raided the parliament, held the prime minister hostage, shut down the airport so nobody could leave, and there were some skirmishes on the main island. So we had to get off the main island, go on to and basically stay away from the main island. So I couldn't leave, so I spent 4 weeks hopping around some of the uninhabited islands whilst the civil war was going on the main island. So there you go, another story. It didn't really affect us because no one really wanted any harm to come to any tourists, so we were treated really, really well, and got to stay on a lot of uninhabited islands and eat a lot of fish curry, coconut curry, and sample quite a lot of the. There's some indigenous pharmaceuticals, shall we say, that are there and readily available. There's one called Carver that the locals have all the time, which they scrape out of it's a plant, and they scrape it out and drink Carver water all day, and it makes your body go all numb.
Our defenses must hold for just a
Rorzelf said England's not very big, G4, so it's the norm for us to holiday to different countries. Yeah, it's the holiday options in England aren't brilliant.
Eliminate him.
Neil said, "Damn, that's interesting. Didn't know that had such a rich history." Yeah, it's they've been kicked. Fiji's been. I think they were kicked out of the Commonwealth because of the civil wars. But it's a beautiful country, and the people are absolutely beautiful. They're so nice, and they're very chilled. So there's a lot of beach rugby is what they play all the time. So 7-a-side, beach rugby. They love rugby, and actually their rugby sevens team is probably the best in the world. They're probably the best in the world
We have been joined by Lord
at 7-a-side rugby. Yeah, some beautiful islands. Yay! I've been all over the US and Canada. Got married in Jamaica. Wow, that's amazing. Was that in Nassau, GeForce? Must be in Nassau, I would have thought. But those are the only countries I've been to. I've never been to Jamaica. I've never been to the Caribbean. That is massively on my list. More former British colonies. We've still got a few of the islands. The Caymans is still ours, and British Virgin Islands. Love to go to the Caymans. Oh, and Bermuda obviously is still ours, I think. But Jamaica, I'd love to go to Jamaica. I'm a massive fan of reggae music. I love obviously Bob, but I love Damian Marley as well. Here in Birmingham, there's a massive. Well, I'm just south of Birmingham, but in Birmingham, here in the UK, there's a massive Caribbean population, and reggae music is massive. And so it led to the It led to a big movement in what they call two-tone and ska music over here in England. So in the late 70s, early 80s, there was a massive music movement. Came out of the Midlands, really. It's called two-tone, and it was basically Caribbean musicians and local, you know, white English musicians playing music together and create a really unique sound. You know, so you had like the Specials come out of that. Have you ever heard Ghost Town by the Specials? You had Madness. And then you had a lot of local reggae and ragga music sort of develop, and it even crossed over into the mainstream, you know, with bands like UB40. So yeah, I would love to go to Jamaica. It'd be absolutely amazing. Rules after. UK does have some beautiful holiday spots. It really does. They're totally underrated, but are very weather dependent. I love going to Cornwall. I love going to Cornwall, St Ives. If you've ever been to St Ives, St Ives probably has some of the cleanest water off in these islands. Absolutely beautiful. It's cold, but it's beautiful. It's aquamarine. You look at a picture of St Ives Harbour and you look at the sea, you wouldn't believe it was in England, because it looks so blue. It looks, you know, it almost looks like, you know, Mediterranean, or well, it's Atlantic. It's Atlantic, so it's got that Atlantic freshness about it, but beautiful. Yeah, I love UB40 Ghost. Absolutely love UB40. Seen them a number of times. Big fan. I love the Specials came out of Coventry, which is you know, just next to Birmingham. Ghost Town is one of my favourite tracks. Never been to Brixton Carnival, which is obviously the epicenter of you know, Caribbean and West Indian culture in the UK. Brixton Carnival every year is one of the biggest carnivals in the world. I've never been to that. That's on my bucket list to do. I don't know if you've been any worlds, but Brixton Carnival is one of those things I'd like to do. Where am I going? I'm following that guy around for some reason. Probably lost that. Oh, he won. GeForce. It was an eye-opener. Such an impoverished country. Tourism, coffee, and drugs. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. It's the same with to a lesser extent, but same if you go to the Polynesian islands. Like Fiji is not a rich country at all. You know, really isn't. The beaches and the resorts are beautiful, but if you go behind the resorts and you look at you know, you look at the villages, and it's very, very poor. You know, the average wage is very, very low. And yeah, I would imagine that's even, you know, the same in a lot of the Caribbean islands too. Hello, Blue. Hello there. Hello, sir. Mr. Ghost says this town. Yeah, all the clubs are being closed down. Yeah, and the two-tone movement was basically working class white people and West Indian and Caribbean people mixing in the bars and the clubs in the Midlands and in the South, and the music that came out. You know, the country was deindustrializing in the 70s. We had a long Labour government throughout the 70s, which destroyed the economy. We're still in debt. You know, we're still in the 70s, paying off our debt, our Second World War debts. The 70s was a bad time in England. You know, we really suffered. The economy was in pieces. There was a period in the 70s where we didn't have enough money to. People were striking everywhere. The bins weren't being collected. The car And so, I mean, there are TV programs you can watch now, like Our Vidas a Pet, which are about people in the northeast of England, in Newcastle and Sunderland, former industrial strongholds of England, that had no work in the 70s because the country was on its knees, and so they would ferry over to Hamburg. They'd ferry over to Hamburg, move over to Hamburg, and then travel around Germany, getting jobs in German factories. And there was some jealousy because there was a bit of jealousy because post Second World War, the British helped get the German factories back up and going. There's stories about how the British soldiers helped get production going again at Volkswagen, and but we were in the economy was in shatters at that point in the 70s. We were just skint. The army was desolate. We had the army and the navy were just a shadow of its former self. There was a lot of social change going on, following the crazy 60s. We were paying off bills, but we had a long Labour government that had a really poor record on manufacturing in particular. There was a manufacturing slump in the 70s. And to be honest, it's never really recovered. We've been pretty much a deindustrialized country ever since. We still do manufacturing, but it's more specialized and high tech. And we, the manufacturing output's not really. The manufacturing landscape's very different, and a lot of the primary industry shut down as well. All the coal plants in Wales and up north shut down, and there was a lot of unemployment. I think there were similar things happening elsewhere in the world, so we weren't alone on that. G4 says, first order of business when rum comes to New York, get some biscuits and gravy. Oh man, I'm so desperate to try these biscuits and gravy. Mr. Go says, we leveled Germany, so there's a lot of work to do to get them back. Yeah, 100%. Mainland Europe seems to be the focus of industrial recovery. Yeah, for sure. I mean, there was like the Marshall Plan, but we one of the deals, basically, one of the deals that was done to get America into the Second World War was an agreement that to help us out, that we would reduce the Commonwealth, and the Second World War was basically the end. It was the end of the British Commonwealth. After the Second World War, we couldn't afford to maintain all the colonies, and the Americans put pressure on us to get rid of the empire, and basically America took over as the world superpower at that point, and we lost our empire, and we've been recovering ever since, really. And it was an old thing anyway. It was right that it was time for it to go, but I think British literature and movies and music post Second World War have all reflected the decline of the British Empire, and we've struggled a little bit to work out what our identity is ever since. There's been a real identity problem, particularly in England. Scottish nationalism has been resurgent, but in England, people have struggled to forge what our identity is, and a lot of English people cling to the Union, cling to the old empire, and cling to, the Union Jack, and so it's hard for a lot of people to what is Britain now? What is it? What is England? England's a bit of a dirty word in some places, so it's a shame. We don't really. We need to rediscover, I think, what we're about.
Expect a reprimand for this.
I mean, don't get me wrong. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. I mean, bloody country's been through everything, so we always come out of it at the end. But yeah, it's been an interesting, it's interesting learning the history. Blue says Germany didn't have to put money into armies. The future certainty doesn't involve Europe at the moment. I think Europe was just it was a hard, it probably came too early for a lot of people, Niels. You know, I think the idea of European cooperation and is absolutely a golden one. But I think some of the bureaucracy kind of has happened by stealth, hasn't it? And
Luke Skywalker is here. Vader should be informed.
And people in this country don't like being told what to do. And I think they see European bureaucracy as interference and, oh, he's going to kill me here. But never say never. Never say never. I don't think we were quite ready for Europe. I don't think Europe was ready for us either. Thousand Ghost says, my Jamaican friend hates the UK, often says the English got to pillage of the world for 50 years, and that was enough. Well, there was a lot of bad things about the Empire, but there's a lot of things that the British bought that were good as well, you know. You have to take a nuanced approach to it and take it for what it was and understand the context of the time. Parliamentary democracy and the rule of law and advances in medicine and welfare state and the Industrial Revolution. You know, some of the big advances in the world, you know, came out of small industrial towns in England, so some good stuff and some bad stuff, and I suppose every country can say the same, really.
We've been joined by Boba Fett. Move on the target area.
Yeah, Ghost, you're absolutely right. What you just said there is really important. I spent a lot of time studying history and context is everything. You're completely right. And there's one thing that is for sure, and that is there is no facts, there's no absolutes in history. There are sources, and then there are people's perceptions of the source material. You know, so there are accounts of events that happened. There are records of events, there are accounts, there's literature, there's photography, you know, there are accounts of history, and then there's people's perceptions and opinions on those sources. There's no such thing as facts when it comes to history. It all has context, and the context is relevant to the time. And sometimes it's hard to contextualize things when you're not in that period to understand them. Hey Kingslayer, how's it going, my friends? Welcome back to the stream. Hope you are well. We were just talking history. GeForce Black Panther. What is that? Black Panther. Black Panther when Shuri calls. Oh, Agent Ross the Colonizer. Yes. Sorry, yes. Black Panther when Shuri calls Agent Ross the Colonizer. Makes me laugh every time. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I know. Us white colonizers. In America, do you know about we're called wasps in America. I don't know if you know. I don't know if that word is still bounded about anymore. It's probably a dirty word today, but up until President Kennedy was the first American president that was not a wasp.
Our
And
defenses
so,
are broken, and the
wasps,
rebels have carried
the
day.
wasps are white
Ours in the
Anglo-Saxon
fateful shade.
Protestants. And so all the American Oh, we've talked about some interesting things today, haven't we? A lot of organised sports originated in England. Obviously, people have played sport for millions of years, but the Victorian English were the first to codify it. And to create associations and clubs. So some of the oldest sporting clubs in the world come from England or Scotland. Yeah, we were the first to codify and create rule books, and we're very good at that. So yeah, if you think of a lot of sports, you know, football, rugby, cricket, a lot of the early codification of athletics was done in England as well. I know the Olympic Federation is French, but they actually came to England and looked at the Coubertin and we had local games here in England, and that was the inspiration for the Olympic Games. So yeah, the codification of sport happened. It happened during the Victorian period. So when all the industry was being built up in the Midlands, in the South, in the North, you had working class Englishmen playing sport with the upper class and the middle class for the first time. So cricket clubs used to be a combination of cricket clubs were very interesting. They were typically the old boys network had created the clubs, but then they brought in a lot of the working class factory workers to come and play in the teams. So that's where you had social mixing going on in sport for the first time. 1000 Goph says, I think it was all got wrapped up in the Illuminati. Yeah, probably. Yeah, the wasps. Yeah, probably.
Move on the objective.
Roars up. I think it still is, Chris. Whoa. GeForce, of course, Ghost. Blame all of our dirty secrets in a phantom group no one is sure exists. They're quite fun though, aren't they, those conspiracies? You go down a bit of a rabbit hole with them, but they are quite fun. I sometimes I like watching the Joe Rogan podcast, and he gets really wrapped up in the conspiracies. I don't know if you ever follow him. Interesting.
First attack phase.
I find them quite interesting. It's a bit of a rabbit hole you can go down. The Bilderberg group and the New World Order and all that kind of stuff. Have you ever read about that?
The situation has changed. Assault these command posts at once.
Joe is fun,
Redouble your efforts.
and he's doing that, and yeah, he is. I like Joe, and I like the intellectual dark web. I love Jordan Peterson. You ever read a fantastic book, very much of our time, Jordan Peterson, 12 Rules to Life. He is I think he's a modern genius. He's a modern genius, Jordan Peterson. He's a psychologist. He was the professor of psychology at Toronto University, and a lot of his writings are about they focus a bit on men, but not exclusively. But it's about trying to find your place in the world and assign some meaning to your life. And he talks a lot about responsibility and the need to take responsibility in your life, to give your life some purpose, and the bad things that can happen to you if you, and the bad things that do happen to us when there's a lack of purpose in your life. But yeah, it's a brilliant book. Joe, I love when Rogan has conspiracy guests on, yeah. Ludwig says, you hear how he was compared to the Red Skull. I know. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, he's controversial because of all of the identity politics stuff that he's written about. I don't really want to get into the politics of all that on the stream, to be totally honest, but I think for those that are drawing opinions, you should read his literature or watch his lectures before making an opinion. All of his old lectures are on YouTube, and he cares about people, man. He cares about men and women, and he's a psychologist. His job was to listen to people's problems and try and help them. Very clever man. Yeah, there's another guy I like listening to is Sam Harris. He's an American neuroscientist, and he's a very clever guy as well. He's worth listening to. Sam Harris and Jordan Peterson are two of my favourite writers. Sam Harris's writing's pretty heavy, to be totally honest. Jordan Peterson's writing is a bit more accessible. Niels, yeah, Jordan's lectures really helped me to reorganise my life. For sure, I think he's a visionary. He's you know, it's very easy to get trapped, isn't it, in life? We have personal problems and stresses at work, and you're right, he does help to. It's just about reorganising your thinking and your mentality to provide, you know. He focuses a lot on responsibilities over rights. Don't expect things to be handed to you, and you know, don't feel as though you're always being treated unfairly or given the wrong hand. Define your own life by giving your own life purpose and meaning. It's very easy to just blame other people and become negative and feel as though the world's treating you unfairly. Whereas, you know, everyone can take responsibility for their lives, and it is hard, you know, but you develop your own purpose, develop your own sense of meaning, but without purpose, there is nothing. His first rule is his very first rule is to tidy up your room. And if your room is messy and your life is messy and it's untidy and it's cluttered and you don't do your washing, and you don't tidy up your house, and you don't, and everything is all over the place, then how on earth can you begin to criticize anybody else or anything else for that matter? Because you can't even bring order to your own life. So his very first rule is get up and tidy your room and bring some order to your room, and then you can compartmentalize that and then start to bring order and meaning to other parts of your life too. Very simple idea really, but it makes a lot of sense to me. He's a grown-up. He is a grown-up.
The princess has joined the battle. Another rebel to defeat.
British history and deindustrialization and reggae music. What else have we discussed? New York City, what a marvel that place is. What's the here's something for everyone in the chat. What is the best place? It's a bit of a hard one to answer this, but what is the most unbelievable place you've ever been to that's left a meaningful impact on you? If you can answer that, I'd be very interested to know. It's impossible to be really well travelled because the world is so big and there are so many places, so I consider myself fairly well travelled, but there are a ton of places I haven't been. It's interesting to know about other people's experiences. Ludwig says, never let it be said, streams aren't educational. Well,
Move on the objective.
definitely the 12 Apostles in Australia. Yeah, wow. Oh, let's talk about Australia. I love Australia. Australia is I know I'm starting off with something very basic here, but the thing about Australia is scale. Scale is, to understand Australia, you need to understand scale. So Great Britain is as a country, Great Britain would fit, the geography would fit inside the state of Texas. But we have 60 million people on the islands. Australia is a continent comparable in size to the United States, but it has a population of just under 20 million people. So to understand Australia and understand how Australia works, you need to appreciate scale. Most of the people live on the coast, so the east coast of Australia is the most populated, some on the south, and then there's some small conurbations in the east. Perth's on the east, and on the west is you got Melbourne to Sydney, and then Sydney to Brisbane. Most people live on the coast, and then the massive centre is just desert. It's just nothingness. And so the travelling around Australia takes a lot of time. It's just absolutely massive. And very, very sparsely populated, apart from, you know, the urban centres of Sydney and Melbourne, which are relatively dense metropolitan cities. Ludwig says, been to New York and holy moly, I love the food. Oh, I was saying on the stream the other day, Ludwig, that when I was in New York, there was the thing that got me were the delis. The delis were unbelievable. You can literally order any type of sandwich anything you want. I lived in. There was one deli in particular that I just lived in. Mr. Ghost says my first trip to the UK made the biggest impact on me. The British Museum was something I wanted to see. Mr. Ghost, I agree that the first time I went to London when I was young, I remember my dad taking me to London on a trip, and I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe. I was blown away by London, and we went to the British Museum as well. And if you've never been to the British Museum, you've got to go. The British Museum literally tells the story of the history of the world. It's controversial because we've got artifacts in there that probably do belong to other countries. Like we've got the marbles from the Parthenon in Egypt, in Greece, and there's a lot of Egyptian artifacts, and so it's controversial, but it literally does tell the story of the history of the world, and it's probably one of, if not the best museums in the world. It's unbelievable. So yeah, Mr. Ghost, I'm with you on that one. Ludwig says I'm getting hungry now, darn it. Me too. Mr. Ghost says Australia is like the Texas of the Commonwealth. Yeah, so it's massive. The scale is unbelievable. It's split into states, but there's fewer states, so it's, it's 4 or 5 states. They did what a lot of countries do, which is they couldn't agree where the capital was. The capital was swapped between Melbourne and Sydney a few times. They couldn't agree, so in the end, they did the same thing in Brazil, by the way. They made up the capital and stuck it halfway between Melbourne, halfway between Sydney, and it's called Canberra. And they made up a state. It's called Australian Capital Territory. They did the same thing in Brazil. They couldn't agree on Rio or Sao Paulo, so in the end they made up a brand new city, which is Brasilia. So same thing in Australia.
Your performance was an embarrassment. Was it the cold or just a lack of resolve that caused this defeat? Lord Vader will not be pleased.
But you've got, I mean, in Australia, in Queensland, which is northeast, it's basically a tropical climate. So it's believe it or not, there's rainforest in Australia. So northeast Australia basically links up with, that's basically the link to some of the Asian archipelagos and Indonesia, and it's all rainforest. It's really humid, very, very hot. Some bloody frightening wildlife, but it's tropical rainforest. And then as you come down south, one of the most beautiful places in Australia is where Usual Mike lives, actually, which is on the most easterly part of Australia. Is a beautiful coastal town. It's a surfers paradise. It's not Surfers Paradise, that's further north, but it's called Byron Bay, and it's some of the most beautiful beaches, amazing surf, and you go to Byron Bay, you can literally swim with dolphins. They will literally, you see them all the time, like they swim the surf. But I get scared by the sharks because there are a legitimate amount of shark attacks around there. But Queensland's very beautiful. New South Wales meets Queensland on the eastern tip. And then New South Wales, obviously, as you travel further south, you head to Sydney. And Sydney's amazing. Sydney's such a cool city. And you've got Sydney, which is very much a metropolitan city. But then the cool bit about Sydney is the are the beach, are the outskirts of Sydney are all beach communities. So you've got the northern beaches and you've got the southern beaches. So all the, you know, the commuter belt in Sydney are all beach towns. So they very much got the whole surf culture thing going on. Northern beaches, southern beaches. In the south, you've got like Bondi and Coogee and very cool places to hang out. Mr. Ghost says, just walking the same streets as Dickens and Doyle was something. Yeah, if you're a fan of history, then you can't really beat London. I mean, and if you're a fan of literature as well, then yeah, what a great place. Rorzaf, the Messiah. Niels, when I was diving in Egypt, I had to punch a shark in the nose. Wow, that's nuts. That's absolutely... I'm petrified of sharks, Niels. I'm absolutely petrified of sharks. Now, Egypt's an interesting place. If anyone's got any stories of Egypt, I've only been to Cairo, so I've not been outside of Cairo. But I did go and see the pyramids, which were absolutely incredible. But I'd like to go back to Egypt because there's more Egyptian history outside of Cairo. I just never got to see it, so I kind of feel like short-changed with my... I did one trip to Egypt, and that was Cairo, and then I've missed out on some of the other historical areas. What am I doing? Play. How did I come out of this? But yeah, the pyramids are unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. Messiah says, got close to a barracuda once. Scared the mess out of me. Oh, I'm petrified of dangerous wildlife. Us Pommies, all we talk about when we go to... The English, all they talk about when they go to Australia are the snakes and the spiders and the sharks. The Australians must really make the fun, really take the mick out of us. But yeah, sharks petrify me. But they've got this shark. I can't remember where it was. I think it might have been in New South Wales. They've got this shark museum. There's this guy in Australia who's very controversial. I've forgotten what his name is. Someone in the chat might know. And he's famous for hunting sharks, and he's killed thousands of sharks, and he's an advocate of shark culling. Well, anyway, he set up this museum. It's his name. I can't remember what his name is, but the name of the museum is his name, and then the something shark museum or something like that. Anyway, it's this place you go in, and it's literally jaw bones that are you can walk through the jaw. They're that big.
The rebels are preparing an assault.
And then
our orders are to dig and
photographs
at
of
all costs.
just loads of photographs of all the sharks that they've killed over the years, and there are some bloody massive sharks. There's photographs of sharks, Nick, that are like they put a shark to give you scale in the photograph. They've placed the shark on top of a car, and the shark is bigger than the car. So, a quick tip, if you go to Australia and you like surfing and you like swimming like me, don't go to that bloody shark museum. Stupid idea that was. I really forget what it's called and where it was, but probably a quick Google search you'll be able to find it. Plus the Jack the Ripper tour. Ooh. Jack the Ripper tour. Yeah, that's good. I love all the conspiracies around Jack the Ripper too. Mr. Ghost says, yes, and I grew up in Europe where the history comes from Eddie Izzard. The water is warming in North Carolina. and the sharks are migrating off the
We
coast
have
now.
reports of Luke's
Oh,
having
they
joined
petrify
the
me.
battle.
They really petrify me.
The rebels think they have the advantage, but we will prove them wrong. Get ready to hold heel ground.
Whoa, Luke Skywalker. It's just you can't beat him. Jaws was just such a good film. I was talking to someone else about Jaws the other day. You rewatched Jaws recently. What a cracking film that is. I mean, just absolute genius. There are some moments in Jaws that that are amazing. There's a camera moment, some camera trickery in Jaws when the cop he's sat on the beach. Can't remember what the cop's name is. You know, what's the cop's name? Anyway, he's sat on the beach, looking out, and the shark attacks. You know, the kid in the sea, and the camera does that zooming in motion. Is it not Bodie? I can't remember what his name is. Anyway, that camera does that zooming in motion onto his face. Unbelievable. And that technique that Steven Spielberg pioneered has now been used in so many other films. You'll know it. I don't have the intellect to be able to articulate what I'm talking about, but you'll know the scene if you see it, where they zoom in on his face as the shark attack happens, and the look of dread on his face is unbelievable. I think the camera must move. I think it moves and zooms at the same time, and it creates this crazy effect. I'm just gonna let Darth Vader go for it there.
The rebels will attack these command posts next. Defend them. Starting illumination.
But I'll tell you what would be a good sequel to Jaws is the story of the Indianapolis. You know, when they're hunting the shark and there's the three of them. There's the marine biologist, the cop, and then the old school fisherman. And they're showing each other. They're showing each other their scars, and then the fisherman tells the story of when he was in the US Navy in the Second World War on the USS Indianapolis, and the ship was sunk by the Japanese, and there were 300 soldiers all in the sea, and they and the USS Indianapolis was basically helping to guard the bomb. And so it was a secret mission, and so there were no rescue boats coming, and there were 300 US naval personnel floating in the sea with no rescue, and the sharks started surrounding them, and by the next day there were less than 100 left. That would be a bloody good film, a great sequel, and a great film. Imagine bobbing up and down in the Pacific, and it's midnight. You know, it's pitch black, but all you can see is stars everywhere, because there's so many stars. You can see so many more stars in the Pacific, and then your fellow naval personnel bobbing up and down in the sea around you, and then every couple of minutes or so you'd hear a shriek and a shark would grab someone. Frightening. Ghost says yes, they should do a film on the Jersey Shore shark attacks of 1916, where 4 people were killed and 1 injured. I love those shark stories. They frighten the hell out of me, but we're very lucky in this country that we don't really get animals, dangerous animals.
Lord Vader is here. Raise up with your weapons. Maintain the area.
Whoa. Let's go as the... I need to build up my officer points. I don't know why I was playing as the officer. I need to build up him and the specialist. Yes, the USS Indianapolis, Men of Courage. Oh, have they made a film, have they? I didn't see that. Men of Courage was made in 2016. I've not gotten to watch it. No, nor have I. Yeah, the worst thing that can happen to you is a bee sting. Yeah, and the bee stings are quite traumatic. If you ever have a bee sting when you're quite young, they can be quite traumatic. Not very nice. But yeah, not life-threatening really, but not very nice. Oh, it's an amazing movie. Oh, I've not seen that then. Who's in that film then? That is definitely one film I want to check out. I didn't even know that was made. I don't know how that passed me by. World War. So during the Second World War, obviously supplies to the UK were hit, so we were very reliant upon supplies coming from America and Canada across the Atlantic. And the supplies, back then we had a merchant navy, so it was basically, you know, it's non-military naval ships bringing over supplies. And of course the German U-boats basically targeted the merchant ships, because if they could stop supplies coming in to the UK, then they could basically bring an end to the you know, to the European theatre. You know, the European theatre. They could bring an end to the, you know, the British resistance. And so protecting the merchant fleet was vital, really, to keep the war effort going. And we were very reliant on American and Canadian supplies. And so this film, The Greyhound, concentrated on, you know, some of the fleets that had to try and protect the merchant fleet, and some of the tactics of how they would try and, you know, what the U-boats would try and do to sneak through. Basically, they would have fleets patrolling at a distance, the merchant ships going across the corridor, and then the U-boats would try and sneak through undetected, and they often would sneak past the fleets and then pick off some of the battleships and cruisers, and then take out some of the larger ships. That must have been very scary, you know, not being able to see your enemy, and only really being able to, you know, to hear them.
Get it done.
But the German U-boats were very, very effective.
A single command post stands between us and
yeah, Das Boot is incredible, Nichols. Absolutely brilliant. That is an absolutely phenomenal film. Right. I'm missing what's the conversations going on there about clothes. It is Happy Mother's Day in America. Is it Happy Mother's Day in Canada as well? I don't know. But in America, it's Happy Mother's Day. It isn't here in England. We had it back in March. But to our American friends, mothers, Happy Mother's Day. Gotta look after your mothers. Very important. Mums always know best, don't they? They really do. You can argue with them as much as you want, but the mums know us very well, don't they? They know exactly what we're thinking and how we're feeling. They just know somehow. The Hunt for Red October, that was amazing. The best Scottish Soviet sub-captain ever, yes! And I love Ghosts. I love the start of the film when they're speaking in Russian, and then the camera tilts down. It tilts down to Sean Connery speaking Russian, or someone is, but it's obviously him. It's not him, but it is him. And then the camera tilts down, or maybe it's his first officer, I think. Camera tilts down to his mouth, and is just all you're seeing on camera are the person's lips as they transition from Russian to English. Very, very clever way of moving the film into an English language film. I thought that camera technique was very, very good. If you ever rewatch that film, it's one of the very first bits. It's very good. But yeah, great film. Absolutely brilliant film. Ghost, I love that trick. They did the same thing in Hello Hello. Did they? I used to watch Hello Hello and I don't remember it from that. Yes, you're right, they did. God, yes they did, didn't they? Yeah, there's been a few good submarine films, haven't there? What was the one with Denzel Washington? Not quite as good as Hunt for Red October, but the one with Denzel Washington was quite good. And Gene Hackman. I forget what it's called. Someone in the chat will remember. But it's not a bad submarine film with Gene Hackman and Denzel Washington. And it's a similar kind of thing. You know, it's the threat of the use of nuclear weapons and man's willingness to follow orders or not follow orders and risk nuclear apocalypse. Crimson Tide, yeah. I love the Cold War era Ghost. And I love the film JFK. I know there's a bit of fantasy in that film by Oliver Stone, but it's a very exciting film to watch. And another film set in that era that's very, very engaging and is 13 Days. Have you ever seen that? 13 Days. Hope you're well. I stayed up late last night watching the boxing that was happening in Texas. So I don't know if anyone in the chat is a boxing fan, but I love watching boxing. And we had Billy Joe Saunders fight Canelo last night in the Dallas Cowboys Stadium. Biggest biggest capacity in boxing in America, I think, for a long time. And it was a good fight. Canelo broke his eye socket in the end, and the match was... he didn't come out of his corner, but... one hell of a good boxer, that Canelo. Mr. Ghost says, yeah, if you like JFK stuff, watch The Man Who Killed Kennedy. I've watched that. It's brilliant. I absolutely love it. I get wrapped up in all those conspiracies, though, Ghost. I love all that stuff. Doing well, thanks. You hadn't heard about the boxing? Yeah, so it was in the Cowboy Stadium last night.
We're running out of time.
75 biggest capacity sporting event held since the start of the pandemic. Saul Canelo Alvarez versus Billy Joe Saunders. Unification fight. I stayed up until 4 in the morning to watch it. I think it was kind of inevitable in the end. Canelo the Mexican is he's such a badass. He basically, our man Billy, the Englishman, he broke his eye socket in one punch, an uppercut, one punch. He smashed his eye socket. His eye socket was all caved in. He was sat in his corner. After one punch, his eye socket was all caved in, and he couldn't see. So his cornerman called off the fight, which was the right thing to do. Because if he'd have come back out, he'd have probably could have died, or he could have at least lost his sight. If he took another punch, he would have lost his eye for sure.
We have new assault telemetry. These positions are to be secured.
Yeah, it's one of the most dangerous injuries in boxing. Is your Mikey said, I just ate 2 pepper cheese. Whoa! 2 pepper cheese sausage filled croissants. They sound good. That sounds very good. A pepper cheese sausage filled croissant. Never even seen one of those. I didn't even know that was a thing. So
fighting with the rebels.
I've never known anything to inhibit a croissant other than chocolates.
Unless we secure the area now. Rebel reinforcements are incoming.
A pepper cheese. Didn't even know pepper cheese was a thing. So pepper cheese sounds good, sausage sounds good, and then you throw in the croissant, and you've got one hell of a mix there. I'm well up for that. I don't even know how I could replicate that. Mr. Ghost says a pork knuckle. Oh, it's breaded. Is it breaded pork then? It's. I'm sure it's breadcrumbs. It's a schnitzel, isn't it? It's a schnitzel, a pork schnitzel. Or you can have chicken schnitzel, can't you? It's breadcrumbs, isn't it? Am I totally wrong? And then you have like a gravy or a curry sauce over that, don't you? Oh, we're having cheese board for evening meal today. Cheese boards are good, aren't they? That's an interesting one. Discussing the different cheese boards from around the world. If everyone had a cheese board, what would they have on it? Mikey says the sausage contains cheese and jalapeno. Oh yes. And I wrapped it with Pillsbury croissant dough and baked it. Oh, that sounds really good. That sounds really good. Niels, no, not quite right. I'm googling the translation. Okay. A cheese board sounds very good. If you were going to have a cheese board, what would be on your cheese board? What would you expect to see? So my cheese board, what I would put on my cheese board is some British Stilton. Love Stilton. Stilton. A big slab of brie. Big slab of brie. Stilton. Some red Leicester.
Almost won the day, but one last area remains to be secured. The assault will recommence.
Oh, some Manchego. That's like a spicy cheese, isn't it? Love that. A selection of pickles.
The assault is almost complete. We only need to secure this last position.
Maybe some like a bit of Philadelphia or something like that. So yeah, it's like a pork knuckle, but with breadcrumbs. I knew it was with breadcrumbs. There we go. And it's in a beer sauce. Yeah, I think I've had some. I think I've had that when I've been to Germany, or something very similar to that. Very good. Very good. Rules like Red Fox Cheddar. Yeah, Red Leicester. Yeah, absolutely. I have got a real problem with chorizo, and that's not on your typical cheese board, but I slice up a load of chorizo and put little slices of chorizo in my cheese. Absolutely love it. Mr. Ghost says the German place near us does not use breading, so it's just roasted with beer cheese sauce. Oh, it's not with breadcrumbs. I thought it was with breadcrumbs. Oh, I'm wrong then. Oh, damn. I'm pretty sure a schnitzel is in breadcrumbs, though, isn't it, Niels? So, like a chicken schnitzel, that's breadcrumbs, isn't it? GeForce, time to do grocery shop. While all the good people are all in church. See you all soon. Good time to do it, GeForce. Take it easy, my friends. Be safe. Be safe. And enjoy. Niels, yes, a schnitzel is in breadcrumbs. Oh, I love a good... I love it. I am partial to a chicken schnitzel. I do like chicken Kiev as well. I know that's not German, but whilst we were talking about breadcrumbs and chicken Kiev's lovely with all that garlic. Rum, have you ever had aerosol cheese from a can? No. And it sounds disgusting, Mr. Ghost. Aerosol cheese?
So,
no.
I've suffered the heat.
You'll forgive me, but that sounds like such an American thing. Aerosol cheese? You're kidding me. Oh no, it sounds bad. Doesn't sound good. Don't get me wrong, Ghost. Don't get me wrong. I'll eat anything. Rosaf, I absolutely love visiting Germany. Everything was such a high standard. You couldn't even get a bad coffee. They do things right in Germany, don't they? Everything they do right. You're not wrong. Frankfurt's an immaculate city. It's clean. It's modern. It's easy. It's accessible. The food is good. You're right. Even just the, coffee's good, and just everything is right about, they just things are done properly in Germany for sure. Rosaf, German food is the best. Where did I spent some time in Hungary, which obviously just borders Germany, and so there's a lot of Hungarian and German. There's a lot of German people in Hungary, and a lot of German cuisine in Hungary. But if you ever get to go, Budapest is such a brilliant city in Hungary. Fantastic. And it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And it's got spas everywhere. They love water in Budapest. And there's lots of spas. It's a spa town. And some really historic spas as well. I'm trying to think what the big one's called. Got this massive spa, and it's this very, very old building, and there's an inside spa, and then it goes outside as well, and they've got outdoor pools and indoor, and just beautiful. But the food there is fantastic. A real mixture of Hungarian and German food. Thousand Ghost says it's processed cheese. Oh. My UK friends points to it as the greatest evil the US has ever done. That's hence my reaction, Mr. Ghosts. The processed cheese in America is not. It's very much frowned upon over here. But I'm down for it. I mean, I'm down for anything. Yeah, you guys have squirty cheese, don't you? Is that what the aerosol one is? Hey Brandon, hey. How's it going? My friends? We're discussing all things today. German cuisine, Fijian history, skyscrapers, sharks, Australia, the Industrial Revolution. We've covered all sorts today. Rosaf, I went around the Nuremberg ring in my family wagon. Wow! That is one thing I've not done yet. And I am a big fan of cars. I do like my cars. But I've not done that yet.
Luke Skywalker is here. Vader should be informed. The rebels believe they have the upper hand, but we shall prove them wrong.
Rosaf, have you put the sticker in your window? You can always tell the people that have done the Nürburgring because they put the sticker in their back window, off the track.
What car do you drive, Salacious? I've got a couple actually. I've got a couple. So my my kind of weekend sort of project car, if you like, is I've got an imported Fairlady Z. So I've got imported. It's a It's a Nissan 350Z, but it's the Japanese import version, which is called the Fairlady. It's the car out of Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift. You know, the car that the bad guy drives. So I've got a 350Z, or a Fairlady Z, imported from Japan. It's quite old, it's 2001, but it's in pretty good nick. So that's wrapped up at the moment, undercover. But that's a 3.5 litre V6. So it's quite a bit of fun to drive. It's rear wheel drive, so it slides about quite a bit. But it's quite a heavy car. So, but I am a fan of. I do like Japanese imports. I do like that whole scene. And then I've obviously got my day car, but I might not say what that is because I don't want to dox myself too much. But I do like cars.
We've been forced to retreat, but it's not over yet. We will prevail.
Whoa. Lando just bust me up. I wonder if the canned whipped cream companies invented the spray cheese. Yeah, good question. Yeah, basically is the same. I've never tried the cheese, so sounds like an experience. I'm up for it. Why can't I shoot? What's going on? Rules app. Yeah, I had the sticker, but I don't have the family bus now. I say family, but it was a Safira SR, but it felt like a horse car on the. You're mental. You're absolutely mental, Rosa. That is crazy. That is crazy. I bet you were just being overtaken left, right, and centre by Porsches and BMWs, and that's crazy. You nutcase. Fair play to you, though. Well done. Did you manage to keep it between the lines, or did you have a? Because even if you whatever car you're driving, whatever car you're driving, it doesn't matter what car you're driving. If you're driving the car to its limit, you're gonna have some hairy moments around that track. So, did you keep it between the lines, or? I bet you went over a couple of bumpers, didn't you? Must have been quite scary, to be honest. Going full pelt in a Safira around that track when you got some Porsches and Beamers coming around the outside of you. In the 50s, Kraft made a pineapple cheese spread. Oh, I think I remember that. Or no, maybe I don't remember that. Obviously, it wasn't around the 50s, but I've had some kind of pineapple cheese before. Yes. Salacious loves pineapple. Salacious loves pineapple and coconut. And lime. Pineapple, coconut, lime. Salacious loves a good cocktail. He's a bit of a girl's blouse, really. He loves a good cocktail. He loves the mojito. Cuban rum, Havana Club rum. Not that he drinks much, but when he does, he likes a Havana Club, fresh mints, sugar and soda water. The most refreshing drink on the planet, bar none, is the mojito. And I wasn't supposed to. And I used to go around a friend's house and used to watch all those movies. Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction. I think I watched Akira at that house as well for the first time. A few of us all together, you know, in a dark room watching Akira. Absolutely brilliant. But yeah, the Quentin Tarantino soundtracks were brilliant, weren't they? Reservoir Dogs and the Pulp Fiction soundtrack, absolutely brilliant. I want Quentin Tarantino to make a James Bond movie. That would be or a Star Trek movie. There's been here you go, Ghost. Here's one. Here's a conversation for us. I'm a massive Star Trek fan like you. I'm not so much the original series, although I have watched a lot of them. But Next Generation, the original movies first of all. So the motion picture. Wrath of Khan is my favourite of all time. Search for Spock. Voyage Home is hilarious. So I love the original movies. Love William Shatner. And then Next Generation. Grew up on Next Generation. Tarantino is a massive Star Trek fan. There's been talk about him writing a film. Or even directing a film. Would you be up? Would everybody be up for a Quentin Tarantino Star Trek film? What do you reckon? It could either be brilliant, or it could be a nightmare.
The Rebel Alliance thought it could hide on Hoth.
Same with James Bond. I'd like to see a Quentin Tarantino James Bond film. Or a Christopher Nolan James Bond film. Which might be more likely. Rorschach, yeah, I still haven't managed to regain any kind of sense of manhood. I lost something that day. Oh, when you went around the man, you're a nutcase for doing that. I can't believe you've done that. Actually, sod that, Rorschach. You get major props in my book. You get major props for going around that track in a Saphira. Major props. Alright, come on. Get your composure together. Let's try and pick up some people. Neil, Salacious, do you ever go full speed with your V6 on the autobahn? So I've never driven the V6 to the autobahn, so I've never driven it to Germany. The motorways over here. So I'll be totally honest with you, Niels. When I first learned to drive, I used to drive very quickly, and I used to really enjoy it. And I was probably a bit too silly. Now I'm a bit older, and I rely on my car to get to work. So I drive not far, but maybe 30 miles to get to work.
Han Solo has
And
been spotted.
I just couldn't afford to lose my license, dude.
Initial assault phase
So
successful.
I just cruise now when I'm on the motorway, and I don't risk it, and I'm okay with that. I used to love driving really fast, but I just it's just not worth it for me. I've seen too many people lose their license and then get into trouble at work, so, and I couldn't afford to lose my job, so I don't now. I'm pretty sensible, to be honest. If I go for a weekend drive, I tell you where is fun to drive in England. The motorways are just a no-no now. There are cameras all over them anyway, so there's just a no-no. There's just no point in driving fast on the motorway here. But the A roads in England are a lot of fun. There's a lot of country roads, or the B roads. There's a lot of country roads. I am in the Shires where I live, and there's not a huge amount of traffic. So if you go for a weekend drive around the countryside, there's some beautiful roads and there's some beautiful drives, and you can get some nice, not crazy speeds, but you can do some, there's a lot of sweeping curves and some really nice driving to be had. Fun driving, and you can go sideways a little bit, and that's fun. But you don't want to spin. You don't want to spin a rear-wheel drive V6. If you spin it and you come off one of those roads, you're in a ditch, and it's so easy to write off the car. So it's not worth going too crazy. So I'm pretty sensible these days. I'm 42 now. The last thing I want is to cause a road accident. So I'm pretty chilled now. Don't get me wrong. Off a roundabout, even with the car that I drive to work, I can get off the roundabout, pretty quickly, and that's a bit of fun. But I take it pretty. I say smooth is the word now. Try and be smooth. Mikey says, I think Tenet is evidence that Nolan will make a great Bond film. For sure. Love to see a Nolan Bond film. Mr. Ghost says, I think he could do a great Trek as long as it's toned down the violence. Yeah, I agree. I would have liked to have seen a Dominion war film. Yes, yes. I did see an interview with him where he was talking about writing a film that tried to link the JJ verse with the Prime universe, like a time travel based film. That could be quite interesting.
The tactical situation has been updated.
Mr. Ghost says the back roads in the UK scare me. I'm afraid of turning. Yeah, that's the thing about them. They are brilliant roads to drive, but you do always face the odd tractor. You're right. But yeah, you've got to know what you're doing a little bit. But it's not like the autobahn in Germany over here. Our motorways, we don't have an unlimited outside lane. It's limited to 70 miles an hour. The most you can really do is about 90. The police, you can go past police, in the 80s, and they turn a blind eye. You get up to about 90, but that's about it. If you go 100 miles an hour, if you're caught doing 100 miles an hour on a UK motorway, which people do, but if you get caught, you can lose your license. So it's really not worth going over 90, to be honest. It's just not worth it. You lose your license and then you're buggered. How do you get to work? It's just not worth it at all. And like I say, there are cameras everywhere now on the. We've got a lot of these so-called smart motorways where they're all, it's all computer-controlled time, speed limited, 1000 Ghost says, Midsummer Murders has taught me not to speed there.
Attack the objective.
Did we get everybody's cheese board? I don't think we got everyone's cheese board. If you're gonna have a cheese board, what would be on your cheese board? I'm assuming everyone knows what I mean by a cheese board. If you're gonna have an evening cheese board, what would be on your cheese board? This is something that interests us. This sniper sounds like a hunting rifle.
All troops, assault that last rebel position. Victory will soon be ours.
The only time I've ever fired real guns was I went to Latvia, and they had a shooting range there where you can select some of these crazy Russian shooting venues where they've got AK-47s and shotguns and machine guns and handguns, and they let you try one of each type of gun. So that's the only ever time I've really shot a gun before. We don't really have that gun culture in the UK, and we don't really have those type of shooting ranges either. Well, not that I know of. Summer sausage and pepperoni for meat. Yeah, I like pepperoni. I think I prefer chorizo, but I do like pepperoni. And salami. But chorizo is my favourite. Oh, sorry, Brandon. I just drilled an Ewok then. Poor little guy. Mike in Houston, summer sausage. I don't know what summer sausage is, if I'm honest. I don't know why a sausage, what a difference between why a sausage is summer or not, but it sounds good, so I'm down with that. And Tillamook cheddar is my jam. That sounds good. I don't know what Tillamook is. Obviously cheddar, you know, cheddar is from a place in England called Cheddar. Cheddar's not far away from me. So I don't know what Tillamook is. Is that sounds good though. Cheddar, Colby, bacon, and Swiss for cheese. Ooh. I don't know why, but all this talk of cheese is making me think about cheeseburgers. That's one of the, do you know, I grew up on American TV. Love America so much, and cheeseburgers. When I think of America, and I'm saying this with genuine love and affection, so don't think I'm saying this in any derogatory way or not, because I'm genuinely not. But when I think of America, I think of Coca-Cola and cheeseburgers, and that's my favourite. I think that's my favourite meal. Is a cheeseburger. Just a cheeseburger and a glass of Coke. You can't beat it, can you? You just can't beat a cheeseburger. I really want a cheeseburger now. I want a cheeseburger with mustard and ketchup, and I want a cold glass of Coke. That's what I really want. I bet you guys have some amazing burger joints in America. Do you know, I could do a trip in America just visiting burger joints in America. That would be a trip in itself. You could do a documentary on it. It'd be quite a good YouTube documentary, actually. A road trip around America, going to the various burger joints of America. What are the best burger places to go to? I mean, obviously you've got all your chains, you know. Your In-N-Out burger. People go on about In-N-Out before. We don't have that in America. An In-N-Out burger. I'm down for an In-N-Out burger. And someone told me that this may or may not be true. In fact, my American friends here can confirm this or not. Oh, Tillamook is the town in Oregon. Awesome. So you guys can confirm this or not. But you know in Pulp Fiction, where the guy has a big kahuna burger, he goes, damn, that's a tasty burger. Someone told me that there is actually that it's a real thing, but there is actually a big kahuna burger in America. Is that, oh, it's a Ewok. It's got me back. Is that a real thing? Is there a big kahuna burger? With pineapple? A Hawaiian burger? Man, that's what me and Salacious want. We want a cheeseburger with pineapple. Oh, I've got an invitation from Simon. So I'm just gonna quit out of this game. I'm gonna join Simon. When you come over, I'll take you to Cherry Cricket, some of the best burgers in Denver. Oh my god, it sounds amazing. Oh, do you know, I love Cherry Coke. What a brilliant invention that was. Cherry Coke. You guys have all kinds of crazy Cokes that we don't have. We didn't get vanilla Coke for ages. It's only fairly recently that we got vanilla Coke. But Cherry Coke. Oh. Cherry Coke and a cheeseburger. I am all over that. What's he doing? So I'm just joining Simon because he's just come online. Oh, a place to the queue at the moment. But yeah, oh, I'd love to. Oh yeah, I bet they do some good burgers. Whataburger is the Texas burgers chain that everyone likes. Yes, please. Yes, please. I want to go to Austin, Mikey. People talk about Austin all the time as an amazing place to go in Texas. Oh, we're playing Starfighter. Oh, goody.
Protect our tractor beams.
I love Starfighter. I haven't played this in a while. I want to go to I'd love to go to Austin, and I'd like to go to see the Well, I'd like to go and see the Formula 1 at Austin because I'm a big Formula 1 fan, but I just want to go to Austin anyway because apparently it's really cool. Mikey, I don't think there is a Big Kahuna chain, but various restaurants do have a version they call the Big Kahuna. A place downtown mixes fountain drinks fresh when you order, so you can get as much cherry as you want. Oh, yes please. Yes please.
Successful outcome assured. Republic cruiser has sustained critical damage. Continue fire. Tractor beams destroyed. Continue general defense.
They make 30 different flavors. Yes, I love Starfighter, but it's hard to read the chat and play this game at the same time. So I might die a little bit. I might die a few times in this, but it's okay. I'm engaged in this conversation. They make 30 different flavors of Coke and Pepsi. Okay, you're gonna have to name some of them. The only ones that I'm familiar with. The only ones I'm familiar with are cherry, vanilla, and I think we've had the mango one. So
Just got another one.
cherry, vanilla, mango. I can't remember any other ones. Yeah, Austin's a good music town. It's a college town, and so there's a lot happening there. Yeah, I've heard that. I'd love the music that comes out of your region. You know, it's I want to go to one of those. I like to go to one of those, like, what are they called? You know, like those barn, like, hoedowns or whatever they're called. I don't know, just that appeals to me. I want a hat as well. So does Salacious. Salacious wants a cowboy hat desperately. Right, what we're doing. Oh, so I can only name, of the Coke varieties, I can only think of cherry, vanilla, mango I think I've had. Oh, a hint of lime. Maybe a hint of lemon. I can't think of any other ones. Cherry, pineapple I've never had. I'd be all over pineapple. Peach, maybe I have had peach. Never had strawberry. That sounds good. Peach maybe. Peach maybe. Ginger, no. Cinnamon, no. Definitely not cinnamon. Sour apple, I would be all over. I love sour apple. That sounds really good. Peppermint, no, never had that. Lime, I think I've had.
Communications array critical. Destruction imminent.
Pepsi and milk? What? Pepsi and milk?
Brace for impact.
Surely not Pepsi and milk. I am a bit of a sucker for, we call it pop, you guys call it soda. Fizzy drinks, basically. I've got a bit of a problem with them. Any sugary drinks. I'm kind of addicted to sugary drinks. It's not good for your waistline, but I've got a bit of an addiction.
Communications array destroyed. Deterioration of events continues. Formulating countermeasures.
Pepsi and milk is from Laverne, and it's from the Laverne and Shirley TV show. I don't know what that show is. I've never heard of that show. Pepsi milk is like a melted root beer float. Now I am up for that. Now we don't really do. You can get root beer over here, but it's obviously normally like imported. But I do like root beer, and I very much am up for root beer floats. I would be well up for that. The closest thing that we kind of do to that is probably a glass of lemonade with a scoop of vanilla ice cream in it. I can't remember what that's called, but that's something we do over here. Fill a glass with ice. Pour half a cup of whole milk. The higher the fat, the higher the flavour. And top with Pepsi? Really? Really? Fill a glass with ice. Pour half a cup of whole milk.
like you.
So half milk and half Pepsi.
Alert. Control tower
Are you
disabled.
sure?
Reactor
Doesn't it all
exposed.
congeal?
Urgent. Concentrate all
I would
efforts on
never have thought of
defense.
that. I would never have thought of that. Rulzaf says, "Have you decided what you're eating today?" I think I want a cheeseburger, Rulzaf. But finding one that's not McDonald's will be... I just want a really nice... I want a slightly toasted bun and a big juicy beef burger with some simple slices of cheese, some mustard and some ketchup, and I want a cherry Coke. Although this half a cup of milk, I have got some milk. I haven't got any Pepsi, but I can easily get some. This milk and Pepsi is sounding interesting. It's a thing, and it is good. Really? Okay. I might have to... Okay, Mr. Ghost. I might have to film myself making this. Do you think anyone will watch it? I might film Little Salacious with a cup. I'll get some ice, and I'll try this. This could be a new YouTube series for me, actually, of trying things that my American friends recommend. So I might try this out. I might try this. Pepsi and milk. You give me an idea about a new SalaciousRum mini YouTube playlist. Salacious drinks. What is it? What is this drink called? So if the show was called Salacious Tries, what would that drink be called? What would the milk? What's the milk and Pepsi drink called? Does it have a name, or is it just milk and Pepsi?
Error detected. Blast doors opening. Defend the reactor.
But I might film that just for a laugh. Milk and Pepsi is the name. Okay, fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. I don't think that's an name on it. No, that's cool, that's cool. Milk and Pepsi's cool. To be honest, I don't like it. Oh no. So we've got a split reaction here. 50-50. Mikey doesn't like it, but Ghost does. It's not filling me with confidence, that one. That's not a very high percentage of
Shields back online.
likes.
Blast doors operational. Continue control tower defense.
Recalculating odds of victory.
I tried it when I saw it on the Laverne and Shirley. I don't know what that program is. I'm gonna give it a go though. I'm gonna give it a go. Mr. Ghost, we'll have to do, or anybody, if anyone wants to do a candy exchange with me, I've seen those videos before. I'd be up for doing that.
Highest imperative. Protect the
If
reactor.
anyone,
Critical
Ghost,
threat
if you want to do a 1000th Ghost and Salacious Rum candy exchange,
Serious damage.
I'll be up for that. So I'll send you 10
damage detected.
10
Destruction imminent. We
classic
immediate intervention.
British
Urgent.
candy, or you call it candy, but sweets or chocolate bars, and then you send me the US equivalent, and then we each make a film filming our reactions.
Withdrawal required.
That'd be quite a fun video. Or if anyone wants to do Beer float. I may have had a beer float. I may have had a beer float. I've got a couple of these ships from the Clone Wars, but I'm missing the big missiles. Beautiful design, though. Oh, no worse, Simon. Simon's just messaged to say, sorry, pal. I've got no headphones. I'll get a pair tomorrow. There he is. I can see him there. So I am playing with Simon. I'm playing with Shabby's brother. Wow. Okay, set your note on Instagram. Okay, I'm interested to see what note you've sent, Mr. Ghost.
Eyes on the prize. Barely hanging on.
I love YouTube projects. I love strange little projects. Doing stuff different. It's not very good for the. It's not very good for your YouTube algorithm. Doing different stuff. YouTube want you to do the same stuff over and over and over, and develop an audience for that. But sod that. I like doing different stuff. I get bored otherwise. I'd love to do a candy exchange video. I just think it'd be a lot of fun.
Not dead yet. Cruiser destroyed.
I can work out a way for Salacious to. Salacious can easily help me try stuff out and elicit a reaction. Oh damn. Right, I'm starting to think about food now. Cheeseburger. So what have we got on YouTube today? Who's on today? We've got Any World But Ours later on today. Who else is doing it? Anyone else doing anything interesting on YouTube today that we know of? The Any World But Ours show I think is on 8 o'clock, and I think it's Brandon that's on with them. So I'll definitely be tuning into that one. What else is going on YouTube today? Anyone know?
Our bombers have completed their attack run.
Anyone doing anything?
Ship's in trouble.
Yeah, 8 PM UK time with Brandon. I did watch Brandon and Bailey on their after show, Bad Batch after show last night. So I know Brandon's done his homework on the Bad Batch. So he's definitely got some good insights for you, Luke. He spotted some nice Easter eggs as well. Oh, look at the Slave 1 there. Whoa, 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 whoa! You almost had me with a seismic charge then. That Slave 1 is amazing. Anyone else doing anything on YouTube today? Other than Luke at 8 o'clock?
Our numbers are starting to thin.
I've got to film, I've got a small video to film, which won't take me long. Sleeping sent me a package, so I'm going to film myself unboxing that, and I'll drop that at some point today. That's not live. That's just an unboxing drop.
We've met our match. Retreat while we still can.
a slightly toasted brioche bun. How about that? And I quite fancy a float now, like a root beer float. That sounds perfect. Sounds like the perfect accompaniment, perfect drink to accompany a good cheeseburger. A root beer float.
They've led us into a trap. Brace for impact.
Okay, I'm in a TIE fighter now. Yes, bacon. Yeah, Mikey, I've got a thing on my bacon though that's got to be really crispy. What about you? Do you like it fatty or do you like it crispy? It's funny, the older generations over here in England like their bacon like fatty, but I can't eat it like that. Oh, I don't like all the gristle. Like, it's got to be really crispy for me, and then it's beautiful. I prefer crispy too. Yeah. Yeah, crispy bacon, can't beat it. Why can't I, why is it not letting me join? Oh, is it counting down? There we go.
Advancing to mission objective.
Our turbo lasers.
I love these TIE fighters. Love the sound they make.
Generators.
What a brilliant sound effect. Mikey, some people cook bacon in their oven, and I hear it gets crispy without burning it that way. Never tried it. Never tried that. I would always put it under the grill myself.
Resistance fighters have
So
arrived.
never.
Don't allow them to complete their attack run.
No, that doesn't sound good to me. I don't know how you can. It'd have to be in the oven quite a long time, wouldn't it?
Don't let them destroy the generators.
Like oven-baked bacon. Have you played Squadrons? Yes, I have, Messiah. Yes, I've got Squadrons. I streamed all the levels in the campaign, which I know it's not long, but there was about 13 of them, I think. So all of those are in my Monkey-Lizard playlist. Well, I haven't really played much of the I haven't played much of the multiplayer, to be honest. Sorry, Salacious, I'm off to a water fight. Have fun, everyone. Take care, Niels. Good chatting with you. Hope you win the water fight.
Keep them away.
Take care, my friends. Thanks for stopping by. It's nice talking to you again, man. Nice talking to you.
The resistance can only resist for so long. Finish this bunker buster once and for all.
Well, why is it not letting me go? There we go.
Striking up! Enemy fighter destroyed.
Wow. A1 took me out quickly. So my levels are so low on Starfighter. I've not played it in ages. So I do need to spend some time leveling up.
Gonna need a lot of repairs.
Resistance bunker buster eliminated.
Easy to get taken out pretty quickly.
Protect the generators.
Got that guy back anyway. I got my revenge on him.
How did this happen?
Watch your six.
Watch out! New enemies arriving. Didn't know as expected.
Target down.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Damn. Oh, he skirted way too close to the Star Destroyer then. That was a fun little dogfight though. I do love Starfighter, it's a lot of fun. It's hard to read the chat though and play Starfighter. You've kind of got to concentrate. Stay away from close quarter combat like that. 1000 Goph says 375 degrees for about 15 minutes, really? Between two cookie sheets, so you stop splashback. It makes great crispy bacon. Wow, it doesn't curl up. Did not know that.
Moving into attack formation.
Sounds good. Sounds very good.
They're tearing me apart up here. Fighter destroyed.
Oh, Poe Dameron, you bugger. Geordie boys, someone from the northeast, someone from Newcastle, just took me out.
First order is here.
Keep thinning out their numbers. Wipe them out.
My ship's damaged. You must complete the mission.
They've knocked out the power to our laser. Retaliate. Seek retribution.
Careful. Almost had a collision.
Fighter destroyed.
Finally. I worked at a restaurant and we did a lattice effect for BLT. Ooh,
If our transports break
that sounds
free,
interesting.
those troops will attack the resistance. Protect
a lattice
them.
effect.
Help them get clear.
Yummy, 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 yummy.
I'm having a bit of trouble staying in the air. Enemy down. All around you.
Oh, that same guy again, red black. I thought I had that other guy then. I need to get these fighters leveled up. Starfighter's so much fun. Too early, too early. Too early on. Oh, damn, you bugger.
Our troop transports are making a run for it. Weapons powered up.
That's a tough mark.
Fence is up.
Escort our troop transports to safety.
Someone's coming around behind me.
Embarrassing.
Someone's got a lot lock on me.
Troop transports leaving the hangar. Keep them safe.
Where is this guy? Damn. That bloody Niels. Guidance missile. So BLT sounds good. I'm not so keen on the big slices of tomato though. I prefer like diced. I can still murder one though. I can still murder one. Damn.
First order transports away. That will hurt the resistance.
Oh, this guy is trying. This guy is very clever.
Troop transports away. Ensure their survival.
Skirting very close to the meteors, look, this guy.
Escort our troop transports to safety.
You're clear. They're gone.
Should work out to our mutual benefit.
Oh. Amazon even sell racks made just for oven bacon cooking. Mm.
Looks like they're nearly finished.
The outcome is assured.
My systems are fried.
Troop transports leaving the hangar. Keep them safe.
Mr. Rum, do you like Branston pickle? I've ordered it a few times from Amazon. It's put on corned beef. So, Branston pickle is probably the cornerstone of
Another victory for the first
a
order.
British cheese board. However, I like perfect. Absolutely perfect. I wouldn't put it. Yeah, you could put it in beef. You could put it in sandwiches, I suppose. People do. But for me, I would.
They've taken the bait.
Oh, with corned beef. Yeah, maybe with corned beef. Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. Why not? Why not? I always have. If it was sliced beef, I always have mustard or horseradish sauce or mustard. Personally. But yeah, Branston pickle, piccalilli. It's quite nice. Have you ever had that? Piccalilli. It's quite nice. Oh, guys, you're getting me hungry. I'm gonna do one more game, and then I'm gonna get some food. I'm gonna bow out. I've almost done 3 hours. I'm starving, absolutely starving. Got me really hungry. All this talk's got me mega hungry. Small chunk. Yeah, small chunk. Small chunk is my favourite. Exactly that.
All wings have reported in.
Small chunk is my favourite. Yeah, absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. Great with cheese and crackers. Yeah, that's proper Branston Pickles, proper old school England for sure. Cheddar cheese. A Ritz cracker, slab of cheddar cheese, and some Branston pickle. Can't beat it.
Their TIE fighters are targeting our fighters. Stop them.
God, this is very... Whoa.
Take out those generators.
This is going quick.
Our fighters have completed their attack run.
Are you shooting me? Come back around on them. Someone's busting me up. Let's get out of here. Let's come back round. Let's come back round. There we go.
No longer a problem.
Back upstairs!
Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Trash those generators.
Quit scaring me like that.
Okay, a little too close to that one. Oh, I so want a juicy cheeseburger now.
Ready and fly.
I hope there's somewhere. I hope I'm not limited to McDonald's. It's not going to do it justice. I need to find somewhere that's going to do a proper one. Let's come back around and fire some missiles at that thing.
Your ship's been hit.
He says. Oh, a good roast beef sandwich would be good now, though. Roast beef and mustard would be good.
Time to join the fight.
One more hit, maybe two, and that's it.
Wow. I think I'm gonna call it a day. I'm so hungry. I'll do this one last vehicle, and then I'm gonna one last run, and I'm gonna quit.
Actuators offline!
Almost there. Keep knocking out those generators.
Friendly vessel
Dun,
destroyed.
dun, 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 dun.
The First Order have taken out a bunker buster.
Okay, that's me done. Sorry, Si, I'm gonna bow out now. I don't know if you can hear me at all, but I'm bowing out, my friend. I'm so hungry. It's been good playing with you, Simon. Sorry, dude. I don't know if you can hear me or not. I want to thank everyone in the chat for joining me this morning, this afternoon. It's been a nice stream. We've covered all kinds of topics, from history to food to culture. It's been a good chat. Mikey says, thanks for the stream, Mr. Rum. Unfortunately, my new schedule conflicts with the weekday game streams. Totally understandable, Mikey. Honestly, I've been coming into the same problem myself. I'm back at work now, and it's making the weekday streams more tiring. I'm going to keep doing them, but I occasionally, as you've seen, have the odd day off, and or I have to carry on working on the evening because I'm life dictates that. But well, I appreciate you stopping by anyway, Mikey, and I'll probably carry on doing these Saturday and Sunday morning early afternoon streams. I quite enjoy doing it. I want to thank Mr. Ghost, I want to thank Mikey, I want to thank Rawzaf, Niels, Apprentice Ewok, Luke Anyworld. I had a good sized crew in the chat. It's been a good chat. I hope you've enjoyed chatting. I certainly have. It's been a lot of fun. So thank you, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Happy Mother's Day to all your mothers. Please be safe. And I am, for those of you that are available, I am streaming. I'm starting a new game on Monday at 8 o'clock UK time. I'm streaming another Telltale game. It's Guardians of the Galaxy. So it's already loaded up and ready to go. I haven't got a clue what it's like. But if you're a Marvel fan and you're up for some storytelling, then please join me at 8 o'clock on Monday. And we'll see how that goes. And I'll do one level, one stream. And we'll see how long that takes. But it should be fun. So, that leaves me to say one final thing. Remember, everybody, monkey lizards, they're for life, not for spit roasting. Goodbye, everyone.